What's going on, man? Just got back from the property up there up the road. Put a for sale sign up there. I made a cut sign there or whatever, I don't have that. Hold on. Whoa, what's going on here? Guess I don't have that anymore. It's so weird how they do this. Sometimes they no more background. Weird. Highlight lighting. Sometimes they give me a background, sometimes they don't. I'm not sure what they got going here today. It's always something different with the tube, the hollow needle, the bite in. On the bite in channel, two fang, was a snake before you let me in, and then he took a pause for the cause so he could let the bite in. Now he's covering for the pedos. So, but anyways, just put that for sale sign. I was going to put it up here. How come I don't see that? It's kind of weird. What is lighting retouch? Where's my, man, I used to have the ability to put a background up there. It's not allowing me to. That's, nope. All right. Oh, well, Jimmy Crack Corn. But I live in the corn syrup nation. But it was up there on that 5-acre parcel, putting the for sale sign up there. Dropped the price of it down. Offered it to Kevin at half price. So what I listed it at, but either way, I have some precious metals. I'll just have to give up the precious metals again. Like a whole year's 15 months worth of work, started out, got them all taken, 40 pounds of silver and all my gold. Now I'm going to have to throw them at this attorney, and I don't even think it's going to be enough. I don't think I have quite enough, but oh well. I'll figure it out. Something will sell maybe. I get shut off. I'm so excited about not have to sell anything on the internet ever again. Not into this whole internet thing. Has got me just too much caught up in this net. So try to get out from underneath that and not worry about that. So I'm going to get over this hump either way. The date's got to come sooner or later. So I had the money, I spent it on the ministry. I paid the ministry off instead of helping myself. So if you got any ideas how to come up with some 20K I have 15K to give for the retainer, but if he's early, I can't even believe he's giving me that good of a price, but it is what it is. It's just an 8-hour drive for the attorney just to go to court, So we'll see. Fathers will be done. Either way, I'm going to take it to trial. Maybe they'll settle it and I won't need the additional $5,000 and I'll just be left with no more precious metals again. But that's fine. Elijah got bailed out with precious metals and the rest of them got taken. So I get some more. I'll trade. I traded for every precious metal that I have for all the gold that I have. I traded for. So I have until Monday, and maybe I can save a piece or something. Anybody you want, I have everything for sale. It's not like, we don't just sit around here and I put the land up for, half price. The motorcycle, the Valkyrie, it's up at half price. The flatbed, everything, but I'm not even getting any hits or any likes. I think they're putting the kibosh on me. They do that to me because I've been using the internet for so long. I did a stream earlier and 12 years or something, 11, 12 years, I think, that I've been on this channel. So I've been doing it a country minute. Some of us have a voice and we're going to use it. Father said, don't partake, rebuke. So that means you got to speak up, not sit down and shut up. It's not a shut up Jesus. I believe, I believe, and then you get to shut up. Belief is an action word. So you got to keep putting legs on faith. Faith is a noun. Belief is a verb. So, how we roll in here. See me rolling. Roll. See, that's a slang word. See how I roll? I love it. The stuff we say in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got their own dialect, their own gloss. It's foreign to most people. So, what can you do? Just show them to the narrow way. That's what he says. Rebuke them with light. So that's what we do here, right? He's the horizo, not the scorpizzo. They both separate, they both divide. So one causes the sheep to scatter, one causes, well, he said, I tighten the Pleiades and I loosen Orion's belt. But yeah, that one. But what a blessing, to be able to even have some people, I tried. I let for 15 months, I let the system do what it was supposed to do. And I have zero regrets. Paid the ministry off. How about what a blessing? You can ever come out here and see me? But probably not. It's okay if you don't. We'll have to see on the other side. And that's how I plan on meeting most people anyways. So it doesn't worry. I'm not calling anybody out. If nobody comes, it's okay. I just want to get out of here now. I'd like to leave this corporation and go plant some more vegetables down in Ecuador and go buy $2 meals and $3 meals and live like it's the 80s and 90s. At least that's about as far back in time as I can go right now. So $3 carne asada plates sure sound good to me. So, whatever. Let me see what's going on here. What do we got here? So, but yep, I'm on a little bit of a push here, but it is what it is. I'll have to go into town or something on Monday and cash in. I guess that's life's not Burger King. Can't always have it your way. So I'd rather have my King Shiloh than any shiny dirt or anything like that. I'd like to know where my son's at. This is going to hopefully speed up that process in some way, shape, or form. I'll probably need to start collecting some more precious metals, start working on his case. I'm going to file a lawsuit after this criminal case is over, though. So several civil lawsuits. I didn't want to. I waited 15 months. I think that's patient. So, it is what it is. Life's not Burger King once again. If it was my way, it wouldn't be this way at all. But, not many things. I still have the blessing of the ministry, but, not know where Elijah or Adron is at is a little hard to swallow at this time. That's kind of like a big horse pill or something, if you will. My daddy makes taking vitamins. And I'm now they like swallowing a bobber or something, like, holy crap. I don't know. But I don't take nothing now. I don't do nothing. Nope. Trying to go back to just food. Food's you have all the, if you grow good nutrient, vitamin, dense nutrient microrise, do all that, grow your soil, then you're going to have high nutrient plants, vegetables, fruit. So, but they grow with chemicals. I'm trying to be organic, go back to the old ways. So that's why I have this other farm in mind. We're buying another farm for the ministry. I built this one. This one's already a working farm, so to speak. I mean, it doesn't have animal husbandry, but it's a farm. It's a food farm. Food farm. This is a food desert where I live, but that can change. We've got the underground garden ability out here too. So we'll see. We'll see what Father has in store for this this flesh body of mine. How longer, and he'll just keep beating my mind and my body. I'm sure it'll probably happen to the day I die. So I don't plan on I try not to make plans because it'll crush them. Look where I'm at now. So, but it's okay. We'll get it worked out. I'm a vet. Adapt and overcome is a military term. So be a little more militant about it. He'll take care of it. I just keep putting it in his hands with a lot of faith, more faith than anything else. So that's all I really got, is faith at this point. That's okay too. That's without that, man, you gotta have faith. Then you gotta put legs on that faith once again. He said, girded in my service. So thankful for that. Thankful for my dogs, the land, the farm here, just the whatever I've been able to do. This whole ministry is far beyond anything that I thought Father would ever allow this meat suit of mine to accomplish. Because I don't want to be big. like that. I ain't trying to be big. That's the accomplishment. It's not like to be fame or fortune or none of that. There's no such thing as fortune, but like tellers or So, but I appreciate the support always in the ministry, and I'd just seen if anybody else had any ideas. I want to get this done. I said I had enough to do this, but I paid off this land so that this is for to serve the ministry now. Booyah! It'll serve after I'm gone for generations. That's a pretty good trade-off. But so, and that, like I said, right now I think about 4 short from the 3 or 4 short, somewhere around there from what I need. But I'll figure it out. Like I said, I'll figure it out. Just was trying to hold the precious metals again, and I'm kind of over that now with the Ecuador thing because what I was just talking about. See, creatures of habit. We become creatures of habit. But I want to grow food. That farm down there is all organic, and it's never had any fertilizers brought in from outside. Everything's been naturally, organically fertilized from the farm itself, and that's hard to find. And especially at a climate that's very conducive to, spit that seed on the ground, it'll grow. That's pretty awesome climate to be in. So more temperate, equal towards the door, yeah, we do things. We thrive on that. Most beings on a schedule work very well. That's why they 9 to 5 you. Nobody ever slept for 8 hours in history, and nobody was ever afraid of the dark. Imagine that. They fished by the night, navigated by night. Remember in the desert, those 12 families, it was in the desert in Israel, right? So, yeah. So, navigation, all these things, the North Star. But anyways, yeah, nobody's afraid of the dark. People are afraid of the dark now. Imagine that. That's kind of silly, huh? And nobody slept for 8 hours because they planted by the moon. Again, all right, I'll get off of it. But people are weird these days. They are creatures of habit, and they like their working 9 to 5. We did that Dolly Parton joke earlier in the couple streams ago. That was a good one. A couple of people got that. Oh, that was good. Nothing grows in the shade. But all right, not worried about it. Like I said, because he said, "Be not anxious, and whatever he wants from me, he will do to me, and he'll do to this ministry. And you too. You better get right. Better get right with the Lord. He's inside you. He's not above in the sky watching you." Heaven's not above your head, so grow up. People don't go to die and go to heaven. There's been no 7th shofar. There's not been a judgment. No judgments. There's only one judgment. Everybody's ever lived since the beginning of time will be judged at one judgment. So grow up. Stop thinking that dead people are in the sky. Dead people in the sky. You sound like ball gods. They used to pray to their ancestors, deities, little g gods for fortunes. Well, they thought they could open up and communicate with their dead ancestors, and they would have an orgy ritual called Christmas, or Masse. It's the Feast of the Yule, the Sex Pistol ritual of the beast with mange, the manger Jesus, pecker Jesus, the one with pecker breast and horns. You know what that pecker Jesus? You ever heard that? The Woody Woodpecker. All right, listen here, Nimrod. Whoa, careful, slow down there. Quit knocking on wood. All right, so that's kind of like Father created all things. What are you knocking on wood for? There's no such thing as fortunes. There's no such thing as luck. What are you carrying out a little rabbit's foot or something? Silly rabbit tricks over kids. Tammuz loved rabbits. That was the wife of, remember, Satan had a son. They had a son called Tammuz, and he loved rabbits, and he had sex with his mom after his dad died. Christmas. That pecker Jesus I was telling you about. One Trump has got his, oh, yes, he does. He's got Mithra. Come on, the sun god, top of the pole, pecking on a pole. All right. Is that Peter Piper? How much? Never mind. I better not do that one. Is that an idiom or is that a poem? So try not to do poetic justice in there, right? Being all, they have places you can go read poems and stuff and do all your haikus. So this is the word. People don't like it. They get all stiff on me like Nimrod. You know, it gets their blood pumping. It's not up to me. They love their own pornea, self-will. They they jerk their own chain or whatever, pull their. All right, it is what it is. You can't turn a goat into a sheep. Okay, remember, they just want to be like Father, because that seventh shofar that I said, that final trump is judgment. So it's all about thy kingdom come, period. That's it. I didn't skip like a record, like a jukebox. Don't rock the jukebox. Right, all right. Seriously, why do you think they like their whole horn? Turn down for what? Turn up, turn down. Under Armour. Oh, no, it's on everything. It's the birth. You're celebrating birth, you idiot. The birth of the sun god. Nanu, Shazbat. And an egg, huh? The egg, kind of like the ovulation cycle, huh? Fertility goddess. Samaramis, the one who had sex with her son. Jesus Christ, Jesus Pecker, Jesus, remember? Let's not go around the ring around the rosy pole again there. Oh, it's like Saturn, huh? The Saturnalia, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Feast of the Yule. The swastika symbol, you ding-dongs. The sugar rituals, remember? Holidays. They like eating sugar. Remember? They baked hot cross-top buns to Samaramis, the wife of Satan, the one who had sex with her son. See why they dropped 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes? They're still touching kids at the airport, aren't they? Man, that doesn't make me happy, touching a little girl slaughtered, touching your boy's little. You want to get them radiated instead? Put your hands up. Remember Decamai. So this has all been in action. Patriot action. Patriot, act. Remember? The Patriot Act. So can't help these people. Remember, once again, Father created most people to go to hell, and they're already there. Because hell isn't below your feet, neither is earth. That's the problem with most. They've got this all wrong. Well, at least if you get one thing wrong, he said don't even change a jot. So and they're on a roll like a scroll. Eyes of fire, feet of fire. Remember? And the sky where we're supposed to meet them will roll back like a scroll. Don't tell me what's the secret. No, it's not. It's right in their face. They just don't read the words. So, and the pit will open up. Knowledge, pit, abyss. Oh, this is it. We made it. Shh, don't tell anybody. They're supposed to figure it out for themselves. Remember? Show them to the light. Yeah, we haven't seen the 7th shofar. The final trump. Shofar. It was a shofar. It was a ram's horn. Remember, they would blow the trumpets. Like 3 in the Roman war. First, be on the ready. Get your gear. Second horn, you better be ready, because on the third horn, we're out. Right? Well, did you already miss the first horn? See, you're already, soldier. They blew 3. I already told you. The second one said was to be on the ready. You had to have all your gear. And by the third one, it's move out and draw fire. Soldier, what are you waiting on? You move like pond water in here. What are you doing? Just sitting there stagnant? Stuck on dumb? Dumb. Think you're free to just do as you will? Autonomous driven, auto self. Oh, yeah, whatever. Move out. This you're part of the team, soldier. It's an effort. You're supposed to help brother to the narrow way, right? Sister? Not rebuke them. We don't need a weak links in this chain, right? This ain't no blockchain. Digital get down. Remember, there's 0-1 God. Yes, that's it. That's the beast that it speaks about in Scripture. This digital, you got a number? 5, 4, 8, 6, 7, 5, 309. I don't know. Whatever. R2D2. Never mind. Get out of here, Spaceballs. What are you, little tin can floating around? C3PO and R. Hey, they got golden robots. It's kind of like Terminator up in here, huh? He'll terminate. None of that nonsense. Don't be talking about there's robots, but there's no ball gods in the sky. So, not sure what's wrong with them. No, I don't. It's not what you're talking about there. It's not about getting a job, you idiot. You don't even know what you're talking about. You don't have any idea. So you come in here and speak out the side of your neck. You have no idea. You can leave now. Father blesses those. I have the precious metals. I'm just was trying to keep those to purchase South American ministry, but you're not any part of it, so you can leave now. Goodbye. Thanks for your time. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. All got that in common, huh? Two cheeks. Oh wait, wings to the side. Same drag. Two cheeks, same hole. So Father provides. It's already done. It's just maybe there's somebody who's more blessed than I. So get behind me, stiff Peter. Oh. It'll all work out. I just want to find out if Elijah, that's really what I'm, there's more than that, but at least this is going to get maybe some answer if Elijah and Adrian are to be found, seen. I don't remember. I don't have a good, they're just no good. It's not good, not looking good, but I've spoken with the attorney, not on my part. I've done just where Elijah's at, where I called and said he could be murdered already. Adrian has been raped. I've already reported this, and they've neglected to do any call for service, their duty. So it'll find out. My dad taught me it takes money to make money. I ain't trying to make money here. Remember, I got everything taken from me. Just trying to help my son out. End up could be facing, well, like I said, no matter what happens, I've already lost a substantial, but I don't care about dirt. Probably don't even know what money is. You're going to go get a job so you bunch a bunch of taxes and get a bunch of money so you send it to Ukraine and kill Ukrainian men and women. Israel and Iran are being paid by the U.S. What an idiot. Don't even know what he's talking about. So no worries. I'm just addressing it because it has to be. I don't. You think I want to do this? I took the money that I had and paid off the ministry instead of helping myself. That's my problem. I joined the military at 17 years old. So I have a problem with serving other people, and it gets me in all this tangle, but I'm all right with it. That's how I live. I've been this way since I was young. Joined the military at 17 years old. So can't turn a goat into a sheep. It's not possible. So I'm not a sheep. I'm a dog. So, well, the black sheep of the family, if anything, if I'm a sheep, but not your whatever. Maybe that's why he birthed me the Scorpizzo. It's be over the target, if you will, so I don't get out of line. He said, I'm the dose, like a sieve. Cut it off, Paul said. Circumcise it. Death to self, die daily, and be born from above every day. Not again. That's only once. What an idiot. Why would anybody think they'd be born again? Well, that's what they think. Balls in the sky, God's in the sky, and all that other nonsense. Earth's below their feet, hell's below their feet. Hell, they think it's 2025. See? I'm in a world full of idiots. It's okay. Most of these people at the top, which is it's a smaller number, principalities, power, spiritual wickedness, the rulers of the darkness of this world, they know. But they just like, froward is a Hebrew word to twist, warp, or pervert. Remember, warp speed? Now he's hiding he's hiding the pedos on the island boys. Oh, island boys. Just threatened him and Joe. So at least I went down swinging. My dad had freaking come beat me with it. Well, not literally. He didn't he was my coach in sports and stuff. And when I played baseball, he wanted you to at least swing. Don't look at the third strike. At least swing at the damn thing. Freaking watch a third strike. Well, you heard it after that. I don't know where we played baseball, but never mind. I snapped in my own nom there. Well, no, whatever, back in the day, but I didn't go to Vietnam. I'm not that old, but it's a idiom. So, pardon my French. Fry. Are they French or are they fries? Are they American? Are French fries American or are they French? The France wanted their gold back, so now I'm going to have to give the gold up. But that's okay. Remember? I don't care. Jimmy crack corn. I just want to know where Elijah and Adron is at, so it feels like a good trade to me. like parallel universes, like 88. So, right there. Just not a drop out of you. Let me hear a drop out of you, or a peep. Drop or a peep. Sugar daddy. Remember your sugar daddy marshmallow god. Peeps and, well, bunnies. Puffy. Or is that the Michelin Man? Or is that the, maybe it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Like the guy on Ghostbusters, huh? All right, never mind. We'll turn you to toast. I like mine a little toasty, but anyways, I don't really do marshmallows very often. So how about Pink Hearts, Yellow Moons? Remember those marshmallows and Lucky Charms? Frosted like the flakes, like Tony the Tiger. They're great. Yeah, I know some flaky people, eh? So thank you, Father, for making me rooted, grafted into the vine, part of this tree, if you will, and creating me to be who I am, not by my own will, but by yours. Although I have to look after this meat suit, at least I can say again, 12 years of being on this platform with half a dozen channels, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Father, for the ability to speak up, to say something. Be one of these people who doesn't sit there and go down as the silent majority. Kind of like in, World War II, watched them walk to their death right to the smokestacks. Kind of like that when the pit opens up, huh? The skies roll back like a scroll. Feel a little similar in here, huh? A little Babylonius-esque, if these Babylonian brain waves floating around in the nations, fornications with the nations partake, they'll be poured out. That blood of the wrath of the saints. Remember all that? Well, the saints are in the cup, in the bowls, and when they pour out, where are you going to be poured out on? Is the wrath going to be poured out on you? Or are you going to already have gone through the suffering? So you can be poured out onto the nations. Because of the fornicated with this Babylonian brainwave system they've got going right now. Anything other than the word, any other gospel, same thing. These people, they love it. They love this other tech Jesus, if you will. It's a digital Jesus. Digital get down, you know what I'm saying? Remember that? Oh, that was Digital Underground. Stop what you're doing. Cause no, you guys remember the Humpty Dance? Oh, I just went and did the Humpty Dance. Do the Humpty Dance. Here's your chance to do. Man, I did some stupid things when I was young. All right. Look at my nose so big, I don't even have to put on the nose. So that's all right. No worries. It's not about vanity or looks. The meat suit's just part of the drag, if you will. You're better off without it. But you have to endure to the end. You can't jump out of the suit. Get rid of it. Blow it up. We'll do whatever. You got to hold on. Endure to the end. He justifies. He will right all the wrongs. He's the Rizzo, remember? The separator. He's the one who pours out judgments. So, no vengeance. The Rizzo, not the Scorpizzo. We don't get to do that. Can't divide the flock. That's the false teacher, the Antichrist. Peace. Peace, Jesus. That's your peace, G. Come on in and visit Peace, Jesus. We love everybody. God loves everybody. And you can buy some Believe Jesus in here today and set it on a shelf and never have to set it down. We'll worry about it because you can be born again. And you can have free will. And you can have luck. And you can be living on a planet. Man, I'm rebuking myself. This is all not true. Versus, you can't do none of those things. So stop it. Stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. All right, better stop it. Whatever. I'm not here to make friends with the world and be nice. Well, I am acting a little stupid, huh? Get stupid. Dumb, 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 dumb. All right. Hey, I'm old school. I like that old. I just grew up around that crowd. I like all music, so whatever. La música de los Pink Floyd. Get him up against the wall. All right. Cool. Jesus, digital Jesus in Switzerland, right? I was my son, Werner. Look at my last name, Werner. Oh, oh, that's what's wrong with this guy in here, huh? Whatever, man. Your blood is not your family. You figure out the families you're going to be with after you die. That's just blood. That ain't. Ever you ever been part of a brotherhood? Maybe you're one of those hatchet men, or never mind. There's a. You ever been in a 3-piece gang? Oh, never mind. Now they all wear the same thin blue line. All wearing the same color, going around harassing, extorting the general public. Thugs, heavily armed. Gang. It's taking. When I was a gang thug, pig, police officer, there was the same thing. Well, that was the definition. But at least you couldn't put your hands on a woman and you had to call him for a backup. Officer safety was the last of the worry at that point in time. It was about trampling on somebody's rights. You don't touch a woman. So, but hey, everybody just loves the pigs, people in government. So he said, don't sup with swine. Don't cast your pearls before swine, vipers. So you'll know them by their fruit. If they're pigs, they work for the government, or they extort and harass and fee and fine and tax. And Father hates that. Remember, he sent Christ, Shiloh, and out of this new covenant, we're not supposed to put hands on anybody, but he fastened the cordons off those curtains. And I'm sure the curtains were not this, I don't know what the thread count on those were, probably like some kind of bar cloth or something, but yeah, imagine like sausages. And remember, he whipped those people for that exchanging and the fee that they had to turn it into from the old money, the exchange rate, and the whip the people. Remember, selling the doves. So go ahead, tax father's people. Remember, he said you better have a millstone tied around your neck and cast it into the sea than to hurt one hair. And tax is pain, baby. Taxation, no representation with that. They started a revolutionary war over 2% in this country. People are like, federal, state, gas tax, cell phone tax, trash tax, house tax, renter's tax. So you get taxed on everything. You got a net and a gross, and it makes you sick, doesn't it, what they take? You think Father likes this? Oh, America, baby. America, team awesome. It's nonsense, guys. So remember, remember my blood was from Switzerland. That's the keepers of the time and the Swiss bank. Oh, that's about as evil as you can get there, huh? Yeah, I know. Werner Braun. Oh, hey, I don't associate with my family. They don't talk to me. My blood or whatever, they don't like me because I'm the black sheep, member of the family. Are you the black sheep of your family? Does your family put you aside and hate you and separate you and imprisons you and treat you like you're an outcast because you won't do Hollywood or money and fame and fortune? Live out in the middle of the desert. I got to think with living in the desert. But anyways, I'm going to go to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. It gets worse here every day. Oh, never mind. It's always going to be a struggle, guys. There's not supposed to be easy, Jesus. I was just kidding earlier with God loves everybody. He's an all-loving God, but he doesn't love everybody. There's no such thing as free will. There's no such thing as luck. It's not 2025. Earth's not below your feet. Neither is hell. Hell's not a place. Neither is, well, a place and a space like an alien. That's not a being. That's a word. Alien is a word. It means foreign. Not alien like a meats. I don't care what polypropylene, plastic, whatever they condensation up in here. Getting a little sweaty, huh? Whatever it is, what it is. But anyways, yeah. They do this by the number, brothers, sisters. They know, these people, most people are two pump chumps, remember? Federal, state, they don't say anything about it. It's sick, huh? They got these paddle towers spewing out all this, venom in the cities, paddling with people with 5G whiz towers and soup and Nimrod. Just see those towers. Every one of those in Nimrod's like, yes, the elite are like, yeah, we got another phallic tower up now, paddling people with the G wave. Oh boy, gee whiz, 5G, like cheese, huh? Wrong melon, huh? Oh wait, that interrupts your sleep, doesn't it? All right, you guys wouldn't know about that, would you? All right, let's not talk about diet here because We all eat poison, food flavored, box bagged and canned in America. I can't stand it, but most people love it. Loves the word agape, and that's everybody said deny all this. Don't partake in. It's not what goes in a man that or a woman that defiles us. It's what comes out of him or her. But try to remember, we're not just supposed to straight eat sugar. That's poison. What are we doing? We're just straight eating poison. Just straight poison. Let's put skull and bones like 31 or 2. All right. They do this by the number too. So, number 2. Yeah, remember 2 witnesses? He said he would send the thief, or it hangs right there on your, right above your crown there. I come quickly, let no one take your skies roll back like a scroll crown. Meet him in the sky. Hello, hello. He's the head. Meet him. All right. Remember, he's gonna. You can't just sit there down, Jesus. You're supposed to meet him. It's like, get up off your donkey, mule, unlearned ass, and well, like a mule, and do something, Jesus, every day, 7 days a week. OCD, Jesus, not some disorder, Jesus. It's Jesus juice. I'm on the Jesus juice. Excessive compulsive disorder is it's on Christ daily. He said, carry your cross. So on carrying that cross daily. Yep. Every day, Jesus, everyday gospel, everyday Sabbath. That's what it's all about. There's not a day of rest. You find rest in suffering and taking up your cross daily. See how that works? It's like pain's just weakness trying to leave your body, soldier. What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Right? So there you go. People can overcome anything. People are very resilient with Father by inside them, not by their side. He's seated at the right hand of the Father. So Christ is in us now. So if you wonder where he's at, where he went inside of you. That's why they want to get inside of you. Like they'll play little ball daddy, sky god things because that's just part of their Nimrod worship. Balls in the sky, sun gods, and Saturn to slow the sun because they thought it was dying, and prayed to the North Star, the goddess of heaven, and I thought that the Big Dipper was being pulled around on, by the Yule wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Yeah, there we go. Remember? These people think you can go into the clock, the wheel in the sky. They're idiots. They're like R2-D2 and C-3PO or whatever. Anakin Skywalker, Chewbacca, all that whole whatever. How about Mork from Mork? How old are you? No. That's peace. Same thing. MAGA is the high priest of the Satan church. Anybody who says peace is an antichrist, or that is an antichrist teaching. So there's no peace Jesus in here. Get away with your peace Jesus. You're an antichrist. Not that's the seventh king. That's being revealed as we speak today. Every single day. It is. It's a 1945 ritual, 923. I'm the only ministry blogger anywhere on the internet that's actually putting this out right now. I haven't seen that other one. How come all the work that I did on the ministry is put on the debt calculator? I don't know if they changed it back, but it sat on there for months, with this aleth, the negation of the corporation, the the 3 nails that was in, stakes, pegged him to a stock. You know what a stock is? That's a yoke. He didn't carry a cross. I can't breathe him ritual. They did to you. They did to him, but they stretched him back so he couldn't breathe. That's how nobody hung on crosses and nobody carried crosses, but these people are idiots. They don't do any scriptural, biblical, historical histories in a book, but Bible means book, but see, they don't, it was written on stone, tablets, scrolls. Remember the sky rolled back like a scroll. I already told you many of these things are, they're parables that continue, nothing new under the sun. Wheel in the sky keeps on their cycles, Yuga cycles, Kali Yuga cycles. Yeah, how much do you know? Going back to Kali. I don't think so. All right. I won't continue there, but we did have the little copper top girl with a little. All right. I don't know if any of you guys grew up in the sun. I grew up in the valley of Los Angeles and Los. And so I better not do that one. I was almost going to do another jingle back from the school about Los Lobos, but you'll have to do that in your own head if you know the song about Los Lobos. But Anyways, let's move on here in the conversation. San Diego. I've lived in more than one San Fernando, Monica. Gosh, if I think, I bet you more. Been to so many. Anita used to go there every year to the racetrack, but well, that's Santa Anita. Well, San Fran didn't go there, or I grew up in the filthy, dirty South, right by the border. Remember, I was the minority. When you grow up the minority, so, but it's okay. I'd rather have it that way. Everybody was mean to me, try to just treat me the same way. Mean, not everybody, but everybody had, so I couldn't like pick one or choose one. It was like it was around all of it. So it was okay. But I was one of the smaller. Hey, what? As long as there were some of them, to me, I got to grow up around everybody. Some people grew up in a farm town and never saw another, nationality other than their locals, if you will. And each state is very different in this corporation. They're not two-way the same. I've been to every major city and every lived in, Alaska, Hawaii. I've been to every state in this union, and I'm telling you, there's no two states that are exactly alike. So you can't tell me people from Texas are like people from Vermont. And I always change this up every time I do it. Huh? People from Ohio are like for people from Idaho, are they? No. People from Michigan? Yeah, don't make me go there. All right, let's not do Michigan. And how about West Virginia? Hey, that's not, no. So we're very multi, but one race, human race. So who's your daddy? My son was born in, well, I lived in the first state capital, Corden, before Indianapolis ever. It's where Elijah was born. He's a Hoosier baby. So I got out of the military and law enforcement and went down, and my son had a sister and she wasn't mine, and I wanted to come back here, but I chose to go there because his mom had her daughter, and children are more important than my needs at that time. So because I knew maybe at some time I'd have a child with her, or at least I thought I would, and I ended up having a child with her. So but his dad was in Florida, but we moved there to be closer, and then I think he ended up moving to Illinois, and then he ended up moving right near and right down the street. It freaking worked! Woo! I love it when a plan comes together. Sometimes it takes a long time, brothers and sisters. So I've traveled around. I didn't do a whole lot because I worked a lot. I lived in Corden and I worked in Louisville, but I got to go through, and I've been to all 50 states. I've had a CDL veteran. Father's blessed me. I could have died a long time ago and didn't. My dad died at 37. I think I've been alive 37 more years than my dad has been dead, or whatever, how that works. But anyways, my life's weird. It all goes by the number. So if we can make it to the end of this year, I will. That whole rhythm of my dad died at 37, was born in 52, and I'm, born in 73, and will be 50. Will I die at 52? That'd be a blessing, wouldn't it, to get the hell out of here? Oof, this place is crazy. It's kind of a little nutty out there. I got a judge telling me I'm nutty because I want to know where my dead son and daughter, and I'm getting called nutty. It's nutty out there, but I'm the nutcase, boys. That's how she works up in here. Up in here? Y'all gonna make me act a fool? All right, no, I won't. I'll be good. I will. Father keeps me under his cover, his armor, if you will, as Paul said. So, but it's so stinking humid out there. So I loved it. I did because I liked living in Indiana. That was a cool state. I met some really cool people in Kentucky and Indiana. And I like people back there. I like country folk more. And there's more, even though I, traveled and worked in the city and stuff. And I did multiple jobs. I had a CDL. So I could done, I worked for Kelly Tech down there in Louisville. And I worked for Terminate. I bounced around doing some driver jobs there, and worked for Culligan and, yeah, I imagine. That's where it's at, man. Broad is the way that leads to the big city lights. That's the wide gate, and that's hell. and you're getting your gem, you're getting all your conveniences, but you're not doing the old way, and that's in the country, and that's going back to the organic way more and more self-sufficient. And so narrow is the way. Narrow is the country road. Father likes country roads. He don't like big cities. He don't like capitalism. He don't like fee, fine, all that. He doesn't like that. I think Father likes parking meters, ordinances. I don't go on dates with men, so I don't follow mandates. He blotted out the handwriting of ordinances in the book of Colossians 2 and 14. So, cool. Right on. I don't know where you're going, Hoosier, but go where your 10 toes. Father will show you where you're supposed to be. So if you can get out to the country, got some property for sale. He wants to buy some property. Got a 5-acre parcel up for sale right now. But hey, I'm just trying to, I don't normally help myself. Like I said, I'm a veteran. That's how I ended up going. See, I didn't even help myself. I didn't go back to Oregon where I wanted to. I went to Indiana to be with my son's daughter so she could be around her dad, and it worked. First he was in Florida, then he moved to Illinois, then he moved to Indiana. So no, I don't do basketball, double dribble, Harlem Globetrotters. I'm not, it's just not my thing. You know, Michael Jordan, slam dunk, 23, Space Jam. It's all, you know, it's all this is. I'm not saying they're not athletic, but it's the giants, the millionaires, the Anunnaki of the day, along with the tights, the guys in running around in tights, chasing around rainbow flavored or whatever lettered, numbered jerseys, people killing each other over this stuff. And they used to kill each other over, you know, kings and queens and rights to land and gold and silver. And now they fight over tennis shoes. Remember Michael Jordan's IOUs and tennis shoes? I think we've degraded, not advanced, if you ask me. And this ain't the first time we've had the interweb. If you've been caught up in this net and anti-gravitics, electrogravitics, perpetual motion, free energy, that's millions of years old. Get out of here. Nothing new under the sun. Remember I told you they had compression, you know, Theolobos, you know, pressed, you know, pressure. And you were supposed to be pressed like the wine press in Rome. Air, not water. That's deception. The air is the crown of heaven, right? Kingdom. That's what Paul said, right? So, but anyways, they're in deception back there in the water. So it's drowning in their own, you know, this knowledge, no knowledge is hell. That's what hell is. Hell's not a place. Hell's not a space. Hell is no knowledge, period. Bis, bathos, busos all mean the word Knowledge. BATHOS, BYSSS, and BUSOS is all the word knowledge. Gave it in Greek and English and all the spellings. The abyss is no knowledge. People think hell's under their feet. They don't start with the word. So I'm glad I do, you know, because my treasure is just the word itself is like more, but your treasure awaits. You're supposed to go through suffering and receive your inheritance. Death to self. That's why it's taught here in this ministry, and it's not being taught in no other channels other than grace and truth. So set apart, not better, not above. That's pride. So, but anyways, so these people double dribble. So I don't like basketball. You know, they're still touching 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes, and we still double dribbling. Correct? Touching a little girl's slot. Well, I don't know if you're point man or whatever, but hey, this is sick. The TSA. I'm not into acronyms, but those people are tyrants and criminals. Either that or get radiated. Pick your poison. Why do people allow this, guys? That's what I'm saying. I mean, if Father would have checked me out 10 years ago, I really don't like what I've seen since Blind 11, you know. But it's okay because I know it's going by the script. And I do remember my dad telling me when I was very young, he said, I know you don't like authority because you do what you want and don't like the government, but I don't care, son. They know what they're doing. So you don't have to like them, but just remember this, because that thick skull of yours, they know what they're doing. And I didn't like that. So I had to listen. My dad told me that like 9 or 10 years old. I'm serious, guys. As Father is my witness, he was really on me about that. He told me that often. You know, why are you so anti-government? So I just didn't like, I knew something wasn't right, you know. I grew up in a major city where that was a thing, you know. It was how it was done even back then. And I was born in the first part of the 70s, and so yeah. big city fees, fines, taxes, seen how hard my dad worked to raise us 3 boys, in, Los Angeles, California, on basic Social Security. He was up. So I don't know how he did it, but I do. He was smart. He used his head. And he worked his fingers to the bone. My dad's like, we're not doing permits. If it says 2x4, we'll use 4x4s. If it says 4x4s, we'll use a 4x8. That's how he did things. So nice. Cool. So you've been here for a minute then. So you understand. You've seen so much. And I understand history. I was trying to tell people, not like because I'm eternal. I think I'm older than all of you in the room by millions of years, because you guys probably, it's a spiritual thing to me. So that's fine. I'm not saying, but in this flesh, we should have been seen enough to know, to see where, again, wow, we're talking about all the wars, were in your memory, of all these things. And here we are again. And I try to tell people now we're in World War III, but they have forgotten that World War I, they didn't call that, World War I until World War II. They called it the Great War, but people have forgotten their history. So it's kind of a laymen now have very simple minds, and they're don't want to understand anything. They stay gassed by the digital, Android personal savior Jesus in their pocket, and bring it along with them, and it tells them what they need to do. And as long as they go by most people, it's getting them by. It's like a pacifier. Well, it's a tracking device. I don't need to track anybody, but oh crap, honey, I left my tracking device at home. What am I going to do? What do you mean? Tracking device. Well, I left my iPhone, my Apple. Yeah. I don't need to track anybody. We all carry them around everywhere we go. Most people do. So does that make sense? Nice. Oh, 85 minutes. Okay, so that's cool. You've seen enough too. Now, some of us, even at that, I forget what they call it. And it's not like that, like I say, because some people are, again, they're old souls where we have a much more time. No worries. But either way, imagine that being from those wars and seeing all that, because that's what's going on today. We're in that same 1945 ritual, the 923 ritual of 9/11, the 9/11 sun god. So they can birth this encampment of the saints and use Walmart to do it. The corporation subsidized that did it during World War II, because they just keep replaying the same cycle. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of a military thing too. Whatever it is, what it is. But you know what I'm saying? People don't want to fix it. What's wrong with America? Nothing's wrong with America. That's why nothing gets fixed. Like disease, like alcoholism, the first stage of alcoholism is denial. So you got to admit, no, my leg's not got gangrene. It's not ready to be cut off. Yes, it is. It stinks, man. Go to the doctor. We told you about that long before it got that bad. Before we got the staph infection, but you kept saying nothing about it. No, everything's good, man. I'm fine. Yeah. Get out of here. These people can't fix something if they don't admit they have a problem. And again, I find that that's why the infrastructure of this country is crumbling, because nobody cares. As long as they think that they're living their dream, everybody else in this world's got to suffer, and people even within this country suffer. But if they're doing okay, they're self-autonomous driven. They don't care. They're in their own little bubble, if you will. So that's about what's going to happen. You'll put everybody in bubble trouble. They've been doing this already, sending people and imprisoning people. They got the Alcatraz, crocodile, Alligator Island bullcrap, places leaking day 2, water coming back up in whatever, guys. I mean, I hope you've been paying attention to this water too. This is Honga's just starting, guys. I was going through some footage this morning, and I cannot believe how many people were just overtaken by these walls of water that were walking around houses outside, and just all of a sudden, whoosh, they were gone. Some of these, there was a lot of visual casualties in this. I'm speaking of this Texas particular one, where it just No warning signals, no nothing, just whoosh. And there's a lot of footage, and it's quite alarming. And that's what's going on. As I've tried to tell everybody this about this, Hong saying you're not safe in the mountains and you're not safe in the bottom of the valley. And I don't mean, he said, I don't even like saying the word safe, but you know, um, these people at the top of the hill don't have flood insurance, so they'll never fix their homes because they didn't have insurance to do it. There's a lot going on right now, and people are really kind of looking in the other direction. This is starting to get alarming. Yeah. So, you guys, I don't know if you've seen some of this Texas footage, and I've seen like tsunami, and there's a lot out there, but that Texas, that was like it was a wall, like a tsunami, inland of water, a wall. So people think tsunami is like a wave, but tsunami is a massive. The water comes back out and then comes back in as you know, a wall, of water. So, it's terrifying to think that these people had no, and that's one of the hardest ways to go, brothers, sisters. I'm sure EMS for Life can tell you, like a victim that dies of smoke inhalation, respiratory failure, choking on your own fluids and that's drowning to death inward, so to speak, on your own fluids instead of 2 tablespoons of water. So, it's a horrible way to die. Horrible, horrible way to die. And my dad died that way by smoke inhalation. So to me, drowning and die seems the that was just, I didn't want to look at this, but I'm trying to figure out what in the hell's going on. And I know what it is, guys. There is so many. Have you seen Patrick Humphrey? He's back up. I think he lost one of his kids, but he's been out of the, I shaved my beard, but he's called one of my bearded brothers, but big bearded news. It's Patrick Humphrey, and he's back up online, and he put out a pretty good video. I have a video on America Ever After. That's what, 11 or almost going on 12 years old. That's about cloud seeding. Go check out that video. But go see Patrick Humphrey from YouTube here, and he talks about this cloud seeding program and makes it, he's understandable. I like Patrick. He's a regular guy, and again, he's back. I think he lost one of his kids. He's been having a lot of problems, and but he's back up, and he's put out really good news, guys. I mean, this guy he's not sensational. He puts out emergency breaking news. You know what I'm saying? From all over, not just here, but really hyper focused on the U.S., but even outside. Like we've got, I think Aiden's coming in here from the UK. It's been happening everywhere, guys. This flooding is not going to stop. This is the Honga Tonga eruption that happened back in 2022. So we're just seeing the effects of this ringing out, making these atmospheric rivers in our, this increased cloud nucleation from the sun's increased solar radiation, also causing more, ability to have more layers of cloud and more excitement of that process to form more cloud layers, more moisture layers in our atmosphere. So then we have 146 gigarams of the ocean from a submarine volcano that shot up into the ocean. That's 14% of moisture. You can go look at the satellite footage of that and see the ocean blow right past the satellites. That's a massive eruption, guys. Do you hear what I just said? The ocean shot past the satellites. Go look at it. Now it's stuck in the mesosphere, and it's just starting to ring out. We've probably seen I think we've hit a half or 1%. I don't even want to give a calculation because that's 146 gigarams, and that is a substantial. That's 14% moisture in our mesosphere that was never there. Never there. So it's frozen. And this takes time to ring out, brothers and sisters. Nobody's talking about this. I don't know anybody else that covers this. I've been covering this is what the Jonah sign. This is how Revelation 16 and 21 is going to come to pass. And I never did. I studied every solar cycle, every Yuga cycle, every cycle I could find known to man. I went through every single record, core data, strata data, all the ice core, everything I could find. I never found. The only thing, because the record, they say there's like 8-pound hail, and that's bull. They had basketball-sized hail in the 1800s that leveled wooden cities. But hail in scripture talks about a hailstone the weight of talent, 1 talent, and that's nearly 130-pound hail. And I'm like, what could cause this? There's nothing atmospherically that could cause that. Nothing atmospherically that could cause that. You understand? So, and it's in our atmosphere too, guys. So people who live like back east, because he's a Hoosier daddy back there, it's different, guys. I remember living in Corden. I get out of my shower, take a cold shower. I mean, I had cold water there. Had lived in the second oldest house in Corden, and really nice place. It fixed it up for the people. But anyways, you get out of the shower and it's muggy, guys, and it's hot. You're hot. As soon as you get out of the shower, you start sweating again. You know, you ain't live back there in that humidity. You don't know what it's like to be back there in Georgia or Alabama. I did my training in the military in Alabama. It's not, so I can't imagine what it feels like. Hoosier, get out away from that moisture if you can. If it bothers you, you're Hoosier. You've lived their whole life. And I lived there for a while. I got used to it. You know, it's not, but it's like going out and pudding. Oh, no. Come to the high desert. Hot days, cool nights, cool off. Not, I remember at 12 o'clock at night, it was, you know, with the AC on. You know, I lived in an old house, so a couple big, you know, but anyways, you know, different, guys. You know, there's so much more moisture in our atmosphere right now, and we're seeing that ring out. So we have not begun. Remember, they put in that Renaissance dam and said that, you know, in the middle of the driest place on this rock, and said, well, the monsoon shift's supposed to, you know, maybe 10 to 12 years. And the damn thing filled up in 2 years. Now there's 3, 4 more hydroelectric dams downstream from this thing, creating energy down there on the driest place on this rock. All these deserts are greening. This is happening. People say, oh, if you don't see this, if you're stuck in a city, you don't. You just see whatever you see on the television, you know, whatever digital get down you're doing, you know, whatever platform you decide to lay on, you know, or whatever. So careful who you sup with, careful who you lay with. You got the Twitter and tickle your ear and wait, that was the bird. But okay, anyway, now it's the X right in your face, huh? Stand on the X. It's not good when you have an X on your back, is it? Hey, remember the X over the Corporation America? Anyways, where do you, Hoosier? You don't have to give up, but are you planning on staying in the state? You planning on staying in Indiana, staying back there? Is that if something you want to disclose? You don't have to, but I would look for a place that's it's not hot at night. That's why I love the desert. Hot days and cool nights is better for me. At least if it's hot, it'll cool off and, you know, lay out under the stars in a blanket and be like, oh, you know, your body temperature comes down. So cool. Okay, I understand. Totally understand what it's like. Like I said, I'm still, you know, have to give up all my precious metals for my kid, and I already gave up all my precious metals once. Well, this time I have to do it for me. But this is going to help me try to find my son too, and my daughter. So I've got kids, but they're both missing. So one is my son's, you know, girlfriend of many years. My daughter, you know, it's his wife, and but treat all kids the same. And she's, you know, she's a nice lady and very works hard and no trouble. They ain't getting no trouble. They ain't getting nothing. It's me. It's me that's the problem. Um, and I may have gotten him in more trouble and may even gotten him killed, unbeknown to me, by trying to stand up. I know I definitely got the house, you know, the ministry SWAT raided out here at the Silver Rock Ranch, and they shot my son and grenaded my son and my daughter and grenaded me. And so I'll have to file some civil lawsuits here and I'll get it taken care of. But I got to get through the criminal case first. So, and I probably should have taken because I had more than the money that I need, you know. The thing is that I need 20 by Monday if anybody had ideas. And here I am just doing what I do, but that's okay. I just put up the sign down at the driveway or whatever because I keep getting shut off on the internet. So not the driveway, down at the end of the property over the other property that I have for sale. But I'll get all this taken care of. Father will provide a way. I just was trying to pick other people's brains too on this. So, but it's for standing up for my son. You know, my daughter just got caught in the middle of it, and now she's, who knows? I'll find out something soon. Maybe it just takes money now, and it's a bummer because you know, why I've already lost, not me or whatever, this ministry and everything, a lot. You know, there's been a lot given up because I'm a veteran and a constitutionalist, and I've already stood up against the law out here. And that's the problem. I tried to explain that to the attorney. You got to remember, I protested this sheriff's department during the COVID. I protested the governor. I protested Donald Trump. It's a scamdemic. You guys are idiots. Virus is not alive. What the hell are you doing? Are you that stupid? I mean, you have the interweb. You can look it up. A bacteria can kill you, right? Get in, cause an infection. That's why a doctor wears a mask. I'm a veteran, so I know a lot. And not like I know everything, but Father's blessed me, understand breathing your own breath all day in a mask, donning them, and then full cover and charcoal thick, imagine what that feels like at, 100 degrees, So, but mop 3, baby, gas, gas, gas. Okay, guys. So, but anyways, like I said, this whole thing has just been hard to swallow. Bacteria is something you'd learn if you learned anything about autoimmunity. If you learned about the body makeup, and because I was in law enforcement and first responder and studied like a madman after I got out of the military, nutrition and nutritional doctor, and and health, and because I didn't treat my body good, I beat the crap out of my body and busted my back in the military and busted my back and car accidents, and didn't eat good and didn't do it. I said, man, I gotta take better care of myself. I don't want my son to, I don't know if he'll be around to take care of me. I got to make a plan. That's the way I do. I make many plans. And so I have something to fall back on. It gives me some peace of mind. If my life's crazy, things are crazy, at least I have centered on, I'm neglected when I was young to take care of things, and it bit me in the, what. But now, as long as I stay in the Word and do what I'm doing, Father, He pours that on. I'm still hard on myself, because I like to get many things done, and I'm a very multifaceted person, and I think I live alone because it's be hard for anybody to keep up with the things that I do. I just constantly have multi things going all the time, and but I don't really ever care anymore about getting them done or anything like that. As long as I'm working, I don't care. But that's when you have, like I said, Father's blessed me to have this, now ability where I don't need to worry about paying this ministry off and paying the other land off. And I've worked hard, and no matter what, He does provide for me. So um, if I have to get rid of all my precious metals again, which is I took, that would be my retirement. And I said, the heck with that. I'd rather give that and buy the Ecuador property once again. I'll get some retirement later. I'll at least have somewhere to go down there and work. I come back here and make America money if I needed to, because this is paid off, and work from the ministry as long as I can. But it's the way it is. As long as I'm here in the pulpit teaching somewhere, even if there's nobody here and providing, then this place will provide me housing. That's why I have it. That's the way it's going to be, not just for myself. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. But Rick, do you have dead kids? Potentially a daughter who was raped? Why I'm paying this attorney? So this ain't about some, I have some precious metals. There's a legit reason I paid off the ministry. I had 27,000 instead of getting the attorney, which I should at the time because I was still in the same. I paid the ministry off. So I'm sure all of us could. I'm only seeing if somebody had an abundance. There's an actual reason. I got dead kids that could potentially now be located if I can get this attorney paid, which now I feel kind of bad that I did that, but it is what it is. I don't have regrets. This is the way Father wanted it. So what's your cause? What do you got? 20,000. You got dead kids, or potentially a daughter who's raped, or a son who's been kidnapped, and the police, you've already reported this. Rick, anyone? Because maybe Rick needs to. Maybe there's somebody who has abundance they could provide in more than one way. Because some people, Bitcoin hit 116,000. Some people are living. The average home in Bend is 800,000. What if somebody wanted to move out here? I got a property for sale for what I dropped it down now to 29, or I'd sell it to you for 19 right now. Motorcycles half price. Everything out here is I have up for sale. So at half price too. Looking for something for half price? You got 10? Might be able to work something out here with you. I got another property I could have walked you in. It's a 20-acre property for $4,000. So it's 5 acres. It's a 5 acre parcel. It's the closest school in this whole county to the school. It's a very valuable property. I had somebody just offer me a Tesla wall for it. 2 power inverters, big. I mean, that's a lot of bucks, and still wanted to give me $500 a month for, years. So I know the property's worth more than I was ever, asking. It's just Father's beating the snot out of me. So, because I do things for everybody else and I don't take care of myself in my own business. It's always been my biggest problem. So, it's got power poles on the property, 2 power poles. The well is going to be less than 100 feet if you dug your own, which you could do out here. If the taxes are low, or than most places, because it's not high dollar property. Like Bend, every third home sold for $1 million. The average home is 800,000. So somebody can come out here and live like a king, get out from underneath that, and a lot of people do. They're not going to actually let too many more people. They just made this the largest dark sky sanctuary in the world, and they protected it from light pollution. So they don't want people coming out here anymore, and they're starting to limit some of the growth in the area, which has never been done because it never even was on the map. But it sprung up in the last 3 to 5, 7, 10 years, just like I told these people that it would. They said, no, it's not. I said, yes, it is. It's a cycle, you idiot. Rich farmers and idiot people. I know the cycles. I know this place. This has the oldest clothing on this rock was found right here. They found an 18,000-year-old camel tooth right here in Riley, Oregon. Cow Cave. That's where the oldest clothing, multiple footwear, sandals were found there. Oregon is the oldest place in the Northern Hemisphere. They already announced it. They're not hiding it anymore. The veil has been lifted. There's been a revelation. They've revealed the fact that this place is ancient. And there's a lost tribe of red-headed giants that roam this valley. You can look out on ancient aliens, and aliens aren't real, but giants are real, or specials. They've done a lot of specials about Silver Lake. So this place it's a freaking paradise out here. The Bend is an amazing city, and I hate cities, but it's different there, and I still don't like it, but it's different. It's not like most cities. It really isn't. The law enforcement there, they very seldom do I see them harassing. Never really. Actually, you give them a reason, they'll mess with you, but most people don't give them a reason, and it's pretty. I call it, Kevin's seen it's the Tacoma capital of the world. There's more Tacomas in Bend, Oregon. It's a high desert town where Mount Bachelor, it's a ski town. They've got a college there. It's got all the right things, and it's a high desert, so it's got an amazing climate out here. Like I said, hot days. And hi, buddy. You ready to go back outside? I'm just coming over to say hi to Dad. So, but it's an amazing place. There's so much to do around here. There's hundreds of lakes. Walk in. There's just it's very unique. Father has blessed me to be here. I could live in any country. Remember, I had my passport. If they gave me my passport, I'd probably been out of here by now. Okay, but I can't. I got to get my passport. I got to get this stuff cleared up. And actually, I talked with the attorney about that. I'm like, dude, I want my passport. I'm figure out this Marshall guy. We got to do something. I had this passport, and that's a federal case. So I'm working on that too. That's why, I don't think to file the lawsuit is going to cost me any money, but it's going to cost me money to get this criminal attorney. So I'm going to stick with it because this is a special place. And maybe if this gets dealt out here, they'll deal with some of these cops different. I'll file the lawsuits, and these people will be gone. And it'll be a better place out here because it's always before when I first got out here, guys, these cops wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything but do their own things and deliver stuff for the farmers because they're all clean and we get they got them in their pockets, and they, it was a real small town, 10 or 11. I can't remember. It's probably been more than, I can't remember. I bought this property more than 10 years ago or something, but it's been a while. So, but it's paid off now, and I'm glad of that. And it is what it is, unless this property sells, and I don't think it's going to sell today because nobody could probably, get the money within unless they just had the cash or silver and gold. Probably not. So I'll probably just have to take the precious metals that I have and start all over again from zero. Wasn't that long ago? Remember, 25 pounds, 40 pounds, this gold this time, whatever. Start from scratch. That's the way Father does. He yanks the rug out from underneath my feet. And And I've been without everything except for the clothes on my back more than one time in my life. Many times. So, and sometimes by my doing, and more than not by my doing. So it's Father doing it. So I just live with it. And pick my teeth up and stick them back in my head and get back up and put my foot back in the stirrup and climb up there and ride again. You know, live to ride another day. So it's a ride or die kind of thing with me. You know, I'm going to ride to my death. So I'm a soldier of God. So I'm going to get a little windy out there today. I'll probably make it a little cooler. So, but anyways, I'll figure it out. Like I said, I'm just, I threw it up there, you know, because maybe somebody does have abundance. I could take Bitcoin, PayPal, Cash App, but only if you have a whole bunch of extra. You could just go set out a big stack of it on the porch and just watch it blow away in the wind, make it rain in here. You know what I'm saying? Other than don't do it. You know, I don't want to take from anybody. So I know I'm not grifting anybody. I provide service, this ministry. I've been given, you know, willing to give my life for this country. I've served, you know, have an honorable discharge. I've whatever. So, but thanks for you know, all the support, guys. Just keeping me through this last year has allowed me to keep my mindset. I can't even imagine how much gold and silver. Not like that, because this time, I mean, they got so much money sloshing around in the system right now. You know, um, they pumped what $8.8 trillion. Trump printed more money. He's created more money than any other president in the history of the United States. And nobody's ever, even Joe and Kamala Allah Akbar couldn't outspend him. He spent more than Barry. So he's the number one spending president. So there's a lot of money floating in the system. And I knew that. So, but I just, because I do it by number, by volume, and I'm a trader. Remember, none of the gold that I have is, I didn't buy any gold. I traded for every bit of it that I have. So uh, I just put it out there, you know. Like I said, even if somebody, and that's why I said the other day, like if you couldn't, don't, and this might sound selfish, don't give any less than $1,000. I just thought it was kind of, it's like, because you can't afford to miss $1,000, and you shouldn't be giving it to me. You should hold on to that, right? Anything less than that, easily, right? Why would you be giving to me? I mean, I have the gold and silver. I might not have enough, but it'll be close enough. Father will, I'm telling you. I have to figure it out. Like I said, I might ask Kevin if push comes to shove. I don't want to ask him, but I will if I have to. So I don't have pride, none, zero. So I'm even willing to speak up and say anything about it. So, but I'm excited to get over this hump, and I'm excited to figure out exactly where my son and my daughter are, if and when I can find out anything, because I've been able to find out. Remember, I located them, you know, or at least their cars, you know, where they're at, and then the cops wouldn't do anything. So now all that's gone, and so I don't know how they wouldn't, if they know where he's at, why they wouldn't go pick him up if they have the reason to do it, and they didn't. So that's so confusing to me, which believes he's not there. And I don't think that they ever saw him on camera like they said. I think there's something that's already happened that they don't want to talk about. That's why they sent that Josephine County judge out here to come cover this case. So call me nutty and call me gibberish. Say I was speaking gibberish, and try to throw me in jail. So heck yeah, I would be in jail right now. Remember? Speaking of, I'm gonna go make some food, guys. I haven't eaten today. What time is it? Probably about 10:30. 1. Oh, hey, it's later than I thought. Nice. Today's cooking by. But yes, I know I'm nutty for saying that, my son and daughter. And stop talking, because I'm going to throw you in jail. Come get you where you're at and throw you in jail. That's what he said. Remember, he threatened me. I was like, hey, my son and daughter can be, I reported it in your, you know, I didn't remember. I know it was talking. It was in his county. So I'm going to hold that judge accountable. Pat Wilkie is going to be put under investigation on this case. I'm sure he should have never came out here. I talked with my attorney. He does have the ability to serve in this county, because I don't know. He looked into it. He like I said, I already have my attorney. He does what he does. He's like I'm saying, there's a reason why he's so expensive. But he don't mess around with things that he doesn't need to, you know, like I said, that aren't in his ability, basically. I mean, he's really turned me over. Nope, that's civil. Nope, that's civil. No, I know it's criminal, but it's civil case. So, yeah, well, obviously in here, EMS, I have, because I feel like Father's with us, and this is just a fellowship. It is to me. It's not that serious like that. I mean, like, I'm under the gun. I'm supposed to be here supping with my brothers and sisters. I troll the trolls just to do it, be fun, and it's entertainment. I don't get a lot of entertainment in life, so it's kind of fun to troll the trolls. But if you notice, since you've actually been able to hear me in court, Father overtakes me when I get in court. I always pray over the book, and he always brings me to Luke 12 and 11. Will you be without counsel? And remember, this is the attorney supposed to be dropping off, and they'll throw you in front of their synagogues, and their men in their black robes, and they're, and they're just judge like they did, and do not worry what you shall say. I will give you the answer. So if you can see, he takes over in there to me. And even Kevin, he's been a witness. So he's like, dude, you were this close to going to jail, dude. I'm like, gosh, dude, how did you not last? Kevin, it's not me in there. I mean, I'm there, but it's Father just tells me what to say. He gives me the answers. And so that's why I'm like that in there, because it's not me. Otherwise, I'd be like I am in here and get a little more excited, but I don't let them control. Father he takes over my mouth. He takes over my body, and I don't. Thanks for being a witness to that, because I know people think that's not possible, but Father can overcome anything. And so when he puts me in that brutal, I don't like being in there. I have to remember Kevin. They took Kevin and did that to him, and they asked Kevin at his case, "Do you have to bring him up here? Please don't. They didn't want me to go up on the stand because they knew I'm saying, and so I I didn't even like Kevin being there. I remember I was there. Rick was there, and he had a freaking stroke because he got so stressed out by what that judge did to him. He literally had to leave this county and go to the doctor because he had a stroke. You know, it's a pretty heavy day that day for Kevin. Me, he was threatening to throw me in jail too because he's like, you have to answer him yes or no questions. You can't, he said I couldn't elaborate about anything with Kevin. I couldn't explain anything. Kevin couldn't talk about. We can only answer yes or no questions. Is all he said. I was like, even on that one, I said, because Kevin said, Your Honor, I said, okay. He called him sir, so I called him Your Honor once, and then asked to leave. And I've never ever, even since my last case, you see or me, they just hung up on me. There's no formal, like most cases end with the case. You even saw that, right? Okay, we'll take a recess, but they didn't even say anything to me. They just hung up. I know I'm floating in the air now. Nobody would have called me to let me know that I have a court date in 8 days. They wouldn't let me know that because I don't have counsel, and I never would have gotten a call. Imagine that. It's a good thing that I went out and I've got to do this, guys. I got, honestly, the secretary wrote me today, Gina, and sent me another contract because I told you they upped the price. That's why I have to, if they go to, I don't know why he's doing it at such a reasonable rate. And I think it's because he knows I'm getting screwed. And he said that, I basically said that, I'm going to get this taken care of, and I'm not going to screw you, is what he said to me. So, because I think he knows I've been screwed enough, if you will, so, tacking on another $5,000 seems like he's just doing it for next to nothing for me, because it's an 8-hour drive just to go there, there and back. So if he decides not to get a hotel or something, it's 4 or 5 hours for him to get from where he's at over there to the, like it was 4 hours for the Josephine County to judge to go over there. So, because she said in her letter, you need to do this because so he can get started on this paperwork. So I don't want to delay it. I wish I had the money today. I probably should have went down there today and done it, but maybe there's somebody who can help me out. That's what I'm saying. So that's I signed the thing immediately. It was an e-file, because he had added on, the money for trial. And so I've got to get him 15 by Monday, though. I don't have any choice. There's no way I can't screw that up. I've got to have that. I mean, like I said, it's such a blessing for him to even he knows this case. He's an expensive attorney. He was Elijah's attorney. He's familiar with it. So you couldn't have, somebody more familiar with the case better. I don't know. But this is actually, like I said, I drove 4 hours now twice to go make sure that this is taken care of, Um, so, no, I tried to start one, Brandon. I was hoping somebody would. Just because I'm a veteran, and I'm not saying that nobody has to, and if nothing happens, it's cool. I'm good, man. Everything's good. Everything's good, man. I'm so blessed that, Father, I even have to. It sucks because I'm gonna wanted to buy the ministry with it, but you know, um, it's okay. Life's not Burger King, right? So, and I should probably taken more time to do that, and I probably should have not paid the ministry off and taken care of that, and then I could have done this later. But I had 65 acres of land payments out here every month. It was killing me. I just too much without any income as far as, Social Security, disability. I'm a veteran. Don't get none of that. Nothing. I work for everything I have. I trade, I fix, I sell, I raise, animals. I sell, many things out here. And so out in the middle of nowhere too, not an easy place to sell things. So normally I could give people a better rate to come out here in the middle of nowhere to get it. But it's okay. Like I said, I just put it off till Monday, and I probably shouldn't have. And probably I don't have any regrets. I'm glad that the ministry's paid off. I'm glad I have the other one. Maybe again, I'll get this taken care of. It won't go to trial. I'll sell the other property and I'll go down and purchase. I won't have the money that I had, but maybe I'll up the price. I seem to get a lot better response. Or maybe I'll just have somebody advertise the property that's not me. Because I get banned by my IP address when I list things on the internet, because I've been doing it for 20 years, 2 decades, for as long as I can remember. I've always bought and sold and used the internet and turned it on its head. I hated it, but I'm like, well, I'm going to use it against itself. Here's how I'm going to do this. So, and it expands your, potential customers. So I have used it and abused the internet so bad, spanked it and beat it and rocked it and socked it, and so I'm sure it's going to beat me back up, and it already has a couple of other things because of whatever. But look at me, here I am on the internet right now. So, but I just thought, this is worldwide. Somebody might have the abundance and can do it, and if not, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. I just had all my precious metals taken from me 15 months ago. I had to start from scratch again. If I had those precious metals, man, I could have got an attorney all the way back then. Imagine that. I could have got an attorney right away. No, Father wanted it to be this way. So yeah, I will after this court date. You know what I'm saying? Or after Monday. So I'll just have to sell the precious metals, that is, and maybe I'll make up I just will never get into the price of precious metals that I bought for. I bought some of those precious metals, around 30, and it's 30, I don't know what it is today. I didn't even look, but some a little bit under. So, and you take a little bit of hit when you sell it, like anything, and you don't get your premiums. And I bought into some things that I thought would go, the premium would get a little high because of the cycle, and I just got to cash out early, and it's there. So, like I said, I think I'm gonna be a couple thousand short, but like I said, I've already had it in my mind if I have to ask Kevin or something to help me out. I'm sure he'll. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to even ask him, to be honest with you. I don't want to ask Kevin. I mean, he already bought that land and over there, and I gave him less than half of the market price value, but he's a good neighbor and stuff. He's got his own thing going. And, that's the one thing about Kevin. I kind of like that he's a neighbor that's not going to, he comes over here and the dogs are stuff, but he's not a neighbor that's in my crap. And that's why I sold it to him. Gave it to him pretty much. I did, but that's okay. It was the money needed to pay off the ministry, and I needed to get more than that. But I wanted the ministry paid off. Remember, I had it in my hands. I told everybody, and I could have gotten an attorney, but instead I chose to do what I did. So I have to live with the consequences of my own actions. I'll figure it out. Like I said, but Monday's my cutoff. So if anybody has any other ideas, either, and I am offering land and I have things for sale. If you want to buy something, have some money, I'll sell you something. I have land. I got a couple got a 5-acre parcel. I got a 20-acre parcel. I could probably walk you in for $4 or $5 grand. And I've been paying on that since before the COVID. I think I bought that before the COVID. So, and that's the same company that I bought this from. So I'm sure I could sign you right over under the contract that I was in, and walk you right into the same, set interest rate, the whole same contract that I was under. It's official. It's all legal. It's, like I said, this one, that's how I was able to buy this property. At first, I bought it on a land sale and then paid it all off with the money. So, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'll take, if I have to, I'll take the precious metals in Monday. I just know they'll be worth so much more. I really wish I could just sell the land and keep the precious metals for now, because the precious metals will triple in value probably for the end of the year. I'm pretty sure silver will at least. Gold might not go up that much, but silver will probably at least triple in the price that it is right now. So, oh well. If I file lawsuits, I won't need to worry about any of that anyways, right? Because I won't need anything. I'll be able to pull enough into a retirement and just a fraction, a tiny bit of what these settlements will be. So I'll be all right, because I don't really need metal. The only reason I was trying to get more metal was to pay off the ministry and maybe have a little bit of something in a retirement account for me. So, but I don't need to worry about retirement, so to speak, if this land's already paid off. And as long as I'm producing content here, that's basically why I made it. So I can stay here as long as I'm pastoring the gospel. I can stay here. But pretty awesome to be where I'm at, considering the circumstances of how my mindset's been pressed pretty damn hard, and I can still function out here, out in the middle of nowhere, so to speak, and make happen what happened. So, I mean, paid off 2 properties, and lost all my precious metals, gold and silver. But here I now have, I think around 10,000 in precious metals and gold, and maybe a couple in silver. So, like I said, I may be a few short, but like I said, I'll figure it out. It's not the end of the world. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to have I got to have 15 to this attorney by Monday. So, and I'll move on. Like I said, from there, I'll once I file these civil lawsuits, I'm sure that's going to be, I don't want to over exaggerate, but I bet you there's $500 million in lawsuits in this case. From the grenading my daughter, grenading my son, shooting my son, grenading me, the 4 tear gas canisters, all the destruction of the property, all the liability. So we'll see what happens though after this. Whether they want to, like I said, maybe I won't need the 20 right now, because they'll drop the case, and that'll save me $5 grand. So I'd like to save $5 grand, because I don't have that right now. So, and I'm going to need it to go to trial. So I'll get a trial date on it, and I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But good. I'm so glad that I did this. Like I said, that I stood up against this perverted. I'm a veteran. I took an oath to the Constitution. These people are tyrants out here. Like, we just got 2 new cop cars, 2 new deputies, but we lost our 911 out here, or maybe 3 up here, and something down there. We don't have 911 up here, but we got more deputies. So that's the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard. But pigs will be pigs. They do what they do. Can't turn a goat into a sheep. People are just work for the system, and they love their system. So, all right, guys, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to make, I've got some hamburger over here in the cooler. I think my ice is about done, so I need to cook it. And maybe I'll take a pause here, unless you guys just want to hang out for a little bit. I'm going to cook some onions, and I got some other, what else did I have? A couple other things I was going to throw in there. I think I got two more eggs left from the farm fresh eggs here, and so make myself some food. And we can go back at it if you want, or we'll I come back up in a little bit. Doesn't really have anything else to do right now. Hold on a second. Okay, I apologize. That's the document that I had to sign from John for the thing. So, but no matter what, guys, it's fine to me. Like I said, I'd rather take, like I said, the gold and silver is going to at least get me a criminal attorney and not these appointed counsels that haven't done anything. And so that is more rights violations, inadequate counsel, and my right of due process, my fair and speedy trial has all been violated. Those are not criminal violations; those are civil. And the attorney that I'm hiring is taking care of the criminal portion of this case. And I don't want to give any false hopes to anybody, but he's looked into this, and as little as he's looked at, he already sees issues. So, and I knew that. I already knew that. I have affirmative defense, for Christ's sake. I mean, I have the right to protect myself. My actions are justified, justification defense, excused defense are justified in a civil and criminal case, both of them. So I haven't done anything illegal. Nothing. I'm standing up for the right of the Constitution. They don't like it too bad. My body suffered. My head's whacked, stroke. I mean, my head's rocking right now. I don't know why. I need to stop talking about it because, man, getting that pressure build up again a little bit. So I don't know. Sometimes I think it's the time of the year or something. I don't know what's going on here, but anyways, I wouldn't change it for the world. I would do it again. If you had a son that got in trouble, only wanted to go out of jail for 5 guys, the only one to go to jail, 5 guys, only one to go to jail, sit in jail for nearly a year, all involved in the same exact, same charges. One guy gets no charges, and he's a rapist. He don't get no charges, but my son does. Teenager, minor child does. The other they all get charges, but then he does the probation that he's told is community service to even leave the county. He has to do it just to be able to leave the county. Then they say he doesn't do it, and then I call my attorney, and I've already had record that he could have got off at halfway through. I talked to John about that yesterday. And that's his case. I can't do anything on it. My attorney's hyper focus on this bad warrant and execution of the warrant. And so, and he works for the bar. So I got to keep that in mind, but he specifically knows what I know, and not totally, but said, I'm not going to screw you. So I take him at his word. John has never said anything to me that he didn't come through. Like I said, the first time I ever seen John, I walked up to him. Even Kevin saw him. And he was like, I said, the first time I explained to Kevin about before we went there and was going to see the attorney. I said, look, man, the first time I seen this guy, I seen hammerhead sharks and great white sharks swimming around in his eyes, man. He's like, good. I told him, he's like, yeah, I know, dude. That dude's like, he don't even have any emotion. He just like, but he's been doing it a long time. He's not hard, and he knows what he's doing. So he won't dink me around. Like I said, I remember talking to him for, the first time or it was the second time. He's like, look, man, you're unloading things onto me that, and he told me today, told me that last time, I'm not a dump truck. What he's basically telling me is, don't tell me anything to me. I don't want to, I'll take your money if you want to pay me and sit here all day and be your psychiatrist. And you can bitch and moan about your case if you want, but I'm here to get you off these charges. I'm here to focus on this. I'm here to, and so I'm glad that I've been able to obtain him. So irregardless if it costs all the precious metals I have, so what? He'll try to find Elijah, and I already have on that. He has an investigator so that he uses, and you can look up his website. So maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, or maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was. I don't know, paying off the ministry, but it's okay because I'm glad that it's done, and I can have at least this confidence and not all that weight over my head to be paying that extra 25 acres of land payments. So now I can sell the 5 acres, and because I had the remaining of that to pay that, get that title on that one, and then pay this off and get this one titled and get it taken care of. So it's a big thing out here. It's a lot of work done in the last 15 months too out here. I did a lot of work to get that, where I'm at right now. So I'm thankful for where Father's put me, and I couldn't feel any more blessed, even though it's a nightmare and it's hard to get up every day and do this. It'll be worth it in the end. It's like putting a savings account up. If you put your treasure up and you use it now and take it out, and pull it out of your savings, then you're not going to have anything for later. So I'd rather be paid later than now. That's just the way I work. So anyways, let's we'll go ahead and wrap her up. Doesn't look like we got a whole bunch of people in here. Appreciate everybody's come by, and I'll make some food here, and I'll come back up maybe a little later-ish, and enjoy the company, guys. Do appreciate somebody to rattle off here too. Feels good to make some kind of progress in this case. Seriously, never have gone nowhere. That's why I shaved my beard, because I wasn't getting anywhere in 14 months, man. I need some change in my life. I'm a person that there's always a lot of change, and it was just getting stale. So sometimes you got to shake the sugar tree, if you will, right? So, yeah, what a blessing. What a blessing to have this ministry, to be able to come in and be a vent, and have good conversation with good brothers and sisters in the narrow way. So appreciate your time always, guys. I really do. And like I said, maybe I'll come in here when there's more people. I think it's Friday today. Maybe somebody later will come in and hear it and say, hey, I want to help this guy out. So you have any way again of starting to GoFundMe? I think it's a little late for that, so don't worry about that. Some will either have or they won't. So it's looking like no, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. I have until Monday, so I might even come up the next couple of days and live stream for a little bit again, and maybe somebody will come in here and say, honey, we got plenty of extra. So feels good to at least know that this money's going towards something that is going to look for my son and daughter, though, and I can hopefully get somewhere on that part of the case. So thanks for being a part of it, brothers, sisters. I do appreciate all your time. It's so important to me. Like I said, it's been a long haul here in this last 14 months. So having people to talk to instead of talking to the walls and the cats and the dogs, they get tired of hearing me. So I know some people do hear her too, but you can always click off. Remember, you don't have to stay here. I'll eventually get over this, and Father will throw something else in my lap, I'm sure. So don't make plans for me. He'll crush them. So love you, brothers, sisters, in the narrow way. Again, if you want to support the ministry, you can do that by just hitting the thumbs up. If you think it's something it's worth your time, that doesn't cost a dime, and you can comment like you're doing here after the video. Appreciate everybody who's been leaving. We can get some more comments again. I've been going through the studio and seeing people leaving comments. Appreciate that. That lets people know what's going on inside the video as well sometimes. And the links to the PayPal, Bitcoin, or the PayPal, Cash App, Bitcoin are in the description if you want to support the ministry. So not required. As always, I get a little redundant about saying that, but it isn't. You don't have to give anything to be a part of this ministry. That's just somebody who has. In this case, remember, I don't want to take a smaller amount. I want to have somebody who has like, oh my God, honey, the door just blew open and our stacks of cash just blew out all over the field. Oh, honey, just let them go. It's just money. We have enough. We're all right. Don't, that's who I want to give. You know what I'm saying? Not anybody who's struggling, guys. That's not right. So I don't need to add. I'm already struggling in a sense, and it's a lot of it's my own, because I don't want to do the Hollywood thing and get all wealthy, and I don't care about that because I'm a minimalist. So, and I did, man, 47,000 for this ministry. So, that's a chunk of change, but, and the other land, I paid the other land off too. So I didn't just pay off one piece of land in this last year. And, and I basically, again, I started with nothing. Like I had to start when the 40 pounds were taken. I had 25 pounds taken from me not that long ago too, and so I better spend it before somebody takes it from me. How about that? It's never wrong to take profit. So, okay, guys, love you, brothers, sisters. Thanks for coming in, and always appreciate the awesome comments that come in. The people who are, righteous comments. You'll know them by their fruit, not these trolls and all these other people who are just Babylonian comments, brainwaves again. So, thanks for being a part of the ministry. It's a worldwide ministry. So remember, you got brothers and sisters all over this rock. Try to make sure you stay in touch with some of these people. I hope there's people contacting each other after I get off this live stream, and they don't just talk to each other when I'm in here. I was hoping that this ministry could produce that, make brothers and sisters, friendships, across the nation. But that's not for me to do. I'm really bad about keeping up with anybody. So guilty, 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 guilty. So that's why I live out here. I'm a loner. All right. Love you. Thanks for your time, Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.